Hello and welcome to the Weekend Wrap-Up. I'm Rebecca Brown. The 95th General Assembly is in full swing as state lawmakers work to pass dozens of bills into laws. I spent the week at the Capitol following several pieces of legislation as well as hearing from new state leaders.
If we cannot have a fair process of drawing the districts, then how do we expect anything after that to be something that the people can trust?
It's a scenario that's played out before in Arkansas. Lawsuits filed against lawmakers over congressional redistricting, often involving allegations of racial or political bias. On Tuesday, inside the State Agencies and Governmental Affairs Committee meeting, Senator Brian King presented Senate Bill 12 in hopes of avoiding any future issues.
Every 10 years after the census, the governor, attorney general, and secretary of state will draw the legislative districts. And the reason that's a problem is because you may not be for a bill or that they want, and so it gives them way too much power. And I just want to bring a transparent process.
According to Senator King, SB 12 would allow community members and lawmakers to file FOIA requests with the Board of Apportionment, a group made of the governor, secretary of state, the attorney general, and their staff. The goal to create more transparency when redistricting changes are discussed.
And basically I'm saying to those groups is, if you have a case and you don't feel like the legislative districts were drawn fairly, which impacts citizens for 10 years, this is a huge decision. And they just need to be able to know what their government's doing and get the behind the scenes, backdoor deals, all those things out in the open.
While lawmakers on the committee agree with the logic of the bill, they think more work needs to be done.
The more restraints like that you put on whoever we elect, the harder it becomes to find good people that want to run for those offices that are willing to subject themselves to that type of monitoring and supervision.
Basically, it would be kind of like, as I'm understanding it, Senator Payton, you put a body cam on the governor, the secretary of state, and the attorney general and follow them around all day, every day, and all of that would be communication that is right now, because they are named members of the Board of Apportionment.
3 weeks in 1 day, just 22 days after fertilization.
Meet baby Olivia. That is the name of the video created by an anti-abortion group called Live Action. Now, some Arkansas lawmakers are working to have the video shown in Arkansas classrooms to teach kids as young as 5th grade about the fertilization process.
It's a great way for them to see a little 3-minute video once a year to see this is how a baby develops in utero. So it's really what it's all about, just the fascination of the human body and how it develops.
It's a proposal that has sparked debate on both sides and not just here in Arkansas.
It's kind of disguised as health education and biology, but it's actually pushing and promoting some material from an extremist group that is known for some misinformation tactics and some disinformation tactics around pregnancy and childbirth.
Republican State Representative Mary Bentley is behind the Baby Olivia Act. She says the goal is to show kids the real human biology as it relates to pregnancy and human development inside a womb.
I want our kids to get the truth, right? We want scientific truth. We want things out there that aren't accurate. So it's completely been through the ringer, as we can say, to make sure it's completely accurate. It's a beautiful video that just shows from conception to birth of what the baby goes through each week.
But Jenny Diaz, a reproductive rights advocate, says this bill does the opposite and pushes more of a political agenda instead of educating the real maternal health problems we face here in Arkansas.
How does one get pregnant? Talking about the ways we can avoid getting pregnant, the complications of pregnancy. This bill sidelines all of those issues and these critical topics just to promote this really one-sided anti-choice agenda. It doesn't actually address these other issues facing teens today.
I feel like election integrity is the single most important thing my office does.
Concerns about election integrity can be found across the political spectrum. Now, Secretary of State Cole Jester is sharing how he plans to ensure everyone's votes is correctly counted.
We're going to do a complete evaluation of what's going on so we can figure out what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and then give a readable, understandable report to Arkansans.
He says that evaluation consists of 4 general areas. 1, accurate voter registration. 2, the actual processes of how we count votes. 3, document retention if someone wants to challenge an election. And lastly,
our policies when it comes to doing audits to make sure that every single election in Arkansas is not 99% accurate, but it's 100% accurate.
The Secretary of State's office also holds the power to approving or deny ballot measures, something we saw a lot last election cycle with numerous petitions being shot down by Jester's predecessor, John Thurston. I asked Jester how he plans to ensure confidence in this system.
Here's my guarantee, and I think Thurston felt the same way. We are a nation of laws, not of men. And in this country and in this state, you can count on the laws to be fairly and evenly applied, and that's what we're going to do.
Meanwhile, state leaders are showcasing their commitment to improving health care for new and expecting mothers. A new proclamation observes National Maternal Health Day in Arkansas. Thursday's move comes as lawmakers propose bill to protect alternative health care options. Lawmakers say it's a critical step to satisfying needs.
I think that there's a real tie-in between those two factors as far as getting IUF treatment, getting access to that, and also being able to access maternal health in every part of the state.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders formed a maternal health task force last year, and lawmakers are expected to pursue its recommendations this session. That task force came about after surveys placed Arkansas near the bottom when it comes to adverse outcomes for new mothers, with improvements hopefully on the way. Maya Ellison speaks with the key players helping guide lawmakers this session.
When you have those raw conversations with mothers, what are some of the things that they tell you?
I don't feel seen, I don't feel heard, I don't feel understood, I don't trust.
This is the reality for mothers in the natural state. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Arkansas saw 272 infant deaths in 2022. Equaling an infant mortality rate of 7.67 deaths out of every 1,000 live births, ranking Arkansas as the third highest infant mortality rate in the country.
15 or more % of women had no birthing hospital within 30 minutes of their residence. 20% of birthing people received inadequate prenatal care.
And just last year, these statistics came to a head. The 2024 March of Dimes report card gave Arkansas an F grade for preterm birth rates. But Nicole Fletcher with the Doula Alliance of Arkansas says the problem has always been around.
92% of the maternal mortalities that took place were preventable.
And she says the risk heightens for underrepresented women.
Black mothers specifically are 2 to 3 times in this state more likely to die from childbirth or pregnancy-related complications.
Even mothers that fall under the Medicaid category deal with these issues, something that officials and experts are hoping to shine a light on in hopes of inching towards a solution.
Finding and locating our women's health centers, transportation assistance, prenatal and postpartum education.
Empower Healthcare Coordinator Heidi Alvarez-Wynn says the first step is acknowledging the problem.
We're getting the word out that there is a need, that this is a need, and our moms and babies are worth it. This is our future.
And helping others understand that it's bigger than you and I.
This impacts me, it impacts my community. So then you personalize it and you take action. You figure out resources, you start to pull together resources.
In Little Rock, Maya Ellison, THV11 News.
Empower Healthcare Solutions offers help to navigate the Medicaid process. We also have information about other resources on THV11.com. Back and forth over passing a budget for Jefferson County continued in quorum court this week. County workers haven't been paid since December. Now the community is stepping in to help. Brooke Buckner shows us how aid groups work to help them stay fed.
Neighbors helping neighbors.
The county need groceries. The kids need groceries.
And Deborah Allen with First Ward Living Grace Food Pantry is making sure no one goes without.
So I got together with about 12 restaurants. They catered to food, fixed the food, and brought it here. So we can give them a hot meal.
And a cart of groceries.
What kind of milk you want?
Arkansas Food Bank, we got like 60,000 pounds of groceries from them.
Plus a truckload of milk after an early morning phone call.
And I called Arkansas Food Bank about one of the drivers about 6:30 this morning, and they came down with milk so these babies can have some milk. We didn't have any, and I know we needed it for the kids.
For people like Jerome McDonald, everything the volunteers and restaurants are doing is making a big difference.
It means a lot because times are struggling, right? A lot of people are struggling just to make ends meet, and it's hard enough when you're working every day, yes ma'am, and this times are real hard.
But Allen says she hopes this makes it a little easier.
Because I'm always want to come up doing something. So I just step out on faith and God always make a way.
In Pine Bluff, Brooke Buckner, THV11 News.
Such a sweet story. Thank you, Brooke. The food pantry had enough groceries to take care of every county employee. The Quorum Court met several times this week in hopes of passing the budget, but were unsuccessful. You can find the very latest on that story right now on THV11.com. It's the end of an era for a beloved Little Rock business. Ugly Mike's Record Shop will close its doors this summer. Surrounded by vinyl records, plastic CD cases, and reminders of the past sits a man with a unique name, the business namesake Mr. Ugly Mike. After decades in the business, he says he would love for someone to take it over, but he knows buying music over the counter just isn't as popular today. He sat down with us to talk about the tough decision to close and his plans after he's done.
Let's be for real. You know, the brick and mortar stores are gone. Technology knocked us out of business, so I've had a good run.
What do you plan to do the most in your days of retirement?
I'll go fishing, catch my own dinner every day.
Ugly Mike hasn't set a solid date of when he will close this summer. However, he encourages everyone to stop by before the final day. New York could soon join other states like Arkansas that limit cell phones in schools, but some are pushing back on the bans. We're taking a closer look at how schools and students are already handling them still ahead. But first, Karen Fuller verifies another winter weather claim coming up.
As your body works harder to keep you warmer, you'll burn more calories. This TikTok user claims that running outside in the cold helps to burn more calories than on a more temperate day. But does the science support the idea that exercising in cold weather lets your body shed more calories? Let's verify. Our sources are the American Sports Fitness Association, a study in the American Journal of Human Biology, and sports medicine Dr. David Geyer. Dr. Geyer says working out in cold or heat each have different benefits. For burning calories, he says colder weather can shed a few more, though not a significant amount. A study in the American Journal of Human Biology found that people hiking in temperatures below freezing burn 34% more calories than those in temperatures above 50 degrees. The colder it is outside, the harder your body has to work to generate heat and keep you comfortable. This is done in two ways. The first is by shivering. Shivering is an involuntary muscle movement that generates heat, raising your body temperature. It uses extra energy, burning more calories. The second way to stay warm is through non-shivering thermogenesis, which contributes to weight loss by activating brown fat tissues. Dr. Geyer says a workout in the cold is fine as long as you prepare for the changes in your body's thermal regulation.
I would do it by wearing layers rather than one big, thick, insulated coat and maybe insulated running pants. Do it in multiple layers. So as you start to warm up, then you can take those layers off and then potentially get some of the benefits of the cold exposure.
So we can verify that yes, working out in colder weather can burn more calories than in less frigid conditions.
Crawford County has received a grant to help public safety officials when people with cognitive disabilities get lost or disappear. It's called the Lifesaver Program. You can find the same tech in places like Saline and Garland County. Jacob Luthi learned about the technology and why leaders say it's important to restart this program.
We used to have the Project Lifesaver here in Crawford County, and the equipment became outdated and unusable. And so we saw a need to reestablish that program.
And a $6,000 grant from the Alzheimer's Foundation of America will make restarting the program a little easier. Crawford County Sheriff Daniel Perry says Project Lifesaver allows caregivers to voluntarily register loved ones with dementia, Alzheimer's, or autism with a small wrist or ankle bracelet transmitter. When the transmitter is activated, the radio frequency allows a trained response team to locate the person and return them home safely.
I think 644 square miles in Crawford County, and there's a large portion that's rural, mountain, as well as farmland. There's a wide variety of different areas in Crawford County that people live in that it would help.
Perry says the program is free to Crawford County residents and batteries will need to be changed just once a year. He says they hope to get the equipment by the end of March. Emergency Manager Veronica Robbins adds that there's been an increased need for a service like this in the county.
We've had last year, I know that we responded on 8 calls total for lost persons. Out of those 8 calls, I think 6 of them were some form of autistic or dementia or Alzheimer's.
She adds this will help with response times, especially during dangerous weather events.
Like our recent snowstorm or a drastic heat wave. We've been on calls where, we have found a patient that was dehydrated during the summer. And so anytime we can try to locate that person faster, the more apt we're able to save a life.
The governor of New York is calling for restrictions on cell phone use in schools across the state. It's a similar push happening here in Arkansas and several other states. Parents are some of the biggest opponents of the bans, pointing to safety concerns. Meg Oliver takes a closer look at the new policies and how students are already handling them.
Like most 8th graders, 14-year-old Ben Cohen-Vigdor has a cell phone. Unlike most, his is a flip phone.
Why did you want to try a flip phone?
I knew that something had to change because I was not getting my work done. I was very anxious. I was biting my nails a lot.
It all started last February when Ben lost his cell phone on the school bus.
I was without a phone for sort of 2 days, and I realized how my days were just so much longer and more full.
So much better, the lacrosse goalie made the radical choice to buy a flip phone.
I feel very proud of myself.
He used to average up to 5 hours of screen time a day. Now it's about 30 minutes. A CDC report says half of American teenagers spend 4 or more hours on screens. Teenagers with higher daily screen time are more likely to experience anxiety and depression.
It can be distracting.
So we asked 4 of Ben's friends, Carson, Renita, Jameson, and Maya, all 8th graders in New Jersey, to try flip phones for a week.
What is your average daily screen time on your phone?
10.5 hours.
10.5 hours? What are you doing on your phone for 10 hours a day?
Watching Gossip Girl on TV and TikTok.
They were curious but skeptical about the experiment. Jameson says he isn't doing as well as he wants to in school.
I think my phone's a big factor in that.
Although Renita plays 3 sports, she admits wasting time on her phone.
Then I'll realize 30 minutes or an hour has gone by.
Carson agreed to participate, but the avid basketball player was nervous.
As I got closer, I started having bad thoughts about it.
But Maya, who loves studying English and just started rowing, is hoping this trial helps her at night.
Hand over the phones. Let's see. It's going to be okay. Thanks, Jameson. Are you ready? Here's your new flip phone. Do you know how to text on there?
No.
No.
It's day 2. It was hard because I didn't have my phone.
Carson didn't make it. He asked for his phone back within 24 hours.
What have you been doing without your smartphone?
I just sat there and stared at my wall until I'd practice.
How do I add a new contact?
The others stuck it out, sending in mostly positive reviews.
I have been sleeping a lot better. I'm a lot less tired during the day. I don't have my Apple Pay, which really doesn't help.
I finish homework so easily and faster.
Hi.
Hello there.
How are you?
7 days later, we reconvened.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
And Jameson, what was the positive for you?
Well, I talked to my parents a lot more and I went out a lot more with my friends.
What did you learn from this?
I think that not your whole life should be on your screen. There should be things just off of that.
I think it helped them even in ways they don't realize.
In February, it will be a full year for Ben and his flip phone. His friends may not want to join him full time, but he believes it's never too late to make a change.
It doesn't have to be something as drastic as completely getting rid of all your social media. I still have an Instagram account that I will use on my computer, but It's more about doing small things that you can bring together to just fix that constant need.
A smart lesson learned without a smartphone. For Eye in America, Meg Oliver, Montclair, New Jersey.
From a morning ritual to making his dreams come true, we'll introduce you to the man creating art with the help of his regular cup of joe. But first, it's time to eat it up.
I've had viewers tell me to stop talking with my mouth full. Impossible, sir. Impossible. This week on Eat It Up, we're bringing the best of the West Coast to Central Arkansas. We're at Becca's SoCal Kitchen. They've got incredible tacos, incredible sandwiches, and I promise some sides you will want to try. It is incredible. So what do you say? Let's eat it up.
We were both born and raised in Southern California originally. We grew up eating a lot of different things down there, so we started doing a more diverse menu.
It's been a little bit of a culture shock, West Coast to the South, and I don't know, I've really enjoyed it. People connect better, it's nice.
Got any personal favorites or maybe stuff that folks get that they go, oh, wow, let's try it, let's do it?
The big one's probably the Rebecca. It's just kind of a loaded sandwich and a new way to have a pastrami. Even people that love Reubens will try it, and when we run a Reuben as a special, they'll still get the Rebecca. It's just a loaded, good sandwich.
We cure and smoke our own pastrami in-house. Starts as a full brisket, cured, smoked, deli slice it. It's like steamed per order on the flat top. It's got both of our sauces on there, the rockin' sauce, rockin' mustard, pickles, the pastrami, pepper jack cheese.
Is the rockin' sauce a secret, or like what all goes in?
It's our version of a house spread. It's not spicy. A lot of people are worried about that. It's not spicy, but
that's what he's allowed to say.
I've been staring at the trombone ever since I got here. Y'all got to tell me about this and how I get it at my house.
We actually had to bring that up from Mexico. Nobody in the States is making them like that. It's similar to a shawarma machine, but the way the bricks and the fire actually char it is different.
It's like watching Michael Jordan in his prime. Just carve them up. Just carve them up. I'm never going to Taco Bell ever again. I'm done. Can you just imagine the cheese on it? Come on. The burnt cheese on there. One of the best tacos I've ever had in my life. I don't even know which camera to look at right now. You're just not gonna get a taco anywhere else like that. Pastrami, on me. Pastrami is about to be on me, in my belly, and gone.
What's it taste like?
I'm trying to chew.
I gotta know.
I absolutely love the pastrami. Fresh jalapenos. Everything here is so fresh. There's cilantro on there. Y'all know every time I go to Hot Springs, go to Oak Lawn, I get a Reuben. This is a little different. How about the Rebecca? Oh yeah. The sauce is different on there too, because that's not your standard Reuben. In fact, is better than your standard Reuben. The sauce makes it so different. Oh my gosh. They're known for their beaches in Southern California. I'm gonna look like a beach whale when I get done eating all this.
Many of us need a cup of coffee to kickstart our morning. But for one Dallas-based artist, coffee is not just for drinking. It's a source of inspiration and a reminder of endless possibilities. Sean Giggy shows us how a cup of joe put him on a brand new journey.
You know, my doctor tells me I need to walk a lot. I let my fingers do the walking.
It's been roughly a decade since Modesto Aceves' greatest mistake.
This is my way of exercising. Sometimes I say, wow, did I do that? It's hard to believe that I'm doing this. 83.
As we first reported in 2018, growing up in Dallas, Modesto dreamed of becoming an artist, but put those aspirations on hold to raise his family.
What my feelings are, it's in my art.
Occasionally, he painted for fun, and late one night, he was so focused, he wasn't paying attention.
Sometimes when you get too involved in your art, you forget where you actually put your brush at. So I actually did my brush in my coffee, and boop, that's how it started. And I said, gee, no wonder my coffee tastes so strange.
Rather than wash the coffee from his brush, Modesto painted with it, and he's been doing it ever since.
I don't have to drink coffee no more. I can just smell it with my paint.
Clearly, this isn't your average Joe. Modesto says once he started painting exclusively with coffee, it was grounds for something beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Since our story first aired, his art has become pretty grande. Modesto has been invited to give annual demonstrations at the state fair, and his art has been displayed in Italy, Brazil, and around the world.
Coffee not just for drinking, that's what I would tell everybody.
Eventually, he would like to open his own gallery.
But I can't keep my paintings because they sell so fast.
The life he always wanted, now the reality he's created.
True art comes from the heart.
At 63, his dream has come true.
You gotta keep on pushing, no matter what. Dreams are possible.
Anything can happen as long as hope is brewing.
You're never too old or you're never too young to believe in that dreams do come true.
In Dallas, I'm Sean Giggy.
That's it for the weekend wrap up. Thanks for joining us here on THV11 Plus. We'll see you next time.